This, therefore, sends a strong message that Takaful can create measurable value while remaining faithful to its ethical foundation. However, surplus distribution should not be viewed merely as a financial reward. It should also strengthen understanding and robust participants' involvement. Participants deserve to understand how contributions are managed, how risks are shared, how funds are invested, and how surplus is determined and distributed. For this reason, the Commission continues to emphasize transparency, sound governance, proper disclosure, and effective participant communication. Trust grows where transparency exists, and confidence grows when participants understand the system in which they operate or participate. I therefore commend again Noor Takaful for reaching this milestone and encourage the company to continue promoting participant education and engagement. Distinguished participants, while surplus distribution is worthy of celebration, prompt claim settlement remains the strongest evidence of an insurer's commitment to its customers. The real value of insurance and Takaful is tested when adversity strikes. At that moment, promises must be converted into real performance. When legitimate claims are paid promptly, fairly, and professionally, confidence grows, families recover faster, businesses return to normal operations sooner, and public trust in insurance deepens. This is why the Commission continues to maintain that claims settlement remains at the heart of the insurance business. I commend Noor Takaful again for recognizing claims beneficiaries as part of today's celebration. It reinforces an important message that participants can rely on the protection they have purchased. Going forward, operators must continue investing in technology, efficient claims processes, customer service excellence, and innovation that reduces response time and improve experience. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important contributions of Takaful is its potential to advance financial inclusion. Across our nation, millions of Nigerians remain uninsured and financially vulnerable. Many have historically been excluded from formal risk protection mechanisms, while others have spiritual or ethical concerns regarding conventional insurance arrangements. Takaful provides an important alternative. It creates access to financial protection for individuals and communities that may otherwise remain outside the insurance ecosystem. The Commission remains fully committed to supporting the growth and development of Takaful because of its unique capacity to extend protection to underserved populations, strengthen financial resilience, and contribute to national development. However, growth must always be accompanied by sustainability. Our objective is simply to increase the number of participants. It's not simply to increase the number of participants. Our objective is to ensure that Nigerians receive meaningful, reliable, affordable, and sustainable protection. As the Takaful segment continues to evolve, preserving its distinctiveness remains critically important, not just to Nigerians, but to the principles underlying Takaful itself. We recognize that the credibility and future growth of Takaful depends on maintaining the confidence of those who chose this model because of its unique value and operating philosophy. Accordingly, the commissions remain committed to ensuring clear regulatory and operational boundaries between Takaful and conventional insurance. This is essential for consumer protection, safeguarding the integrity and reputation of Takaful, and creating a sustainable regulatory pathway that allows Takaful to flourish within the broader insurance industry. Participants must be assured that products that are marketed as Takafu genuinely operate according to established Takafu principle, preserving the distinctive fundamental of Takafu is a public trust imperative and sustainable development imperative for the Takafu market. While preserving the unique identity and integrity of Takafu remains a priority, it is equally important to recognize that the sector's future growth is being supported by wider reforms currently transforming the Nigerian insurance industry. Ladies and gentlemen, today's celebration is taking place at a defining moment in the evolution of the Nigerian insurance industry. Under the leadership of the Commission, the industry is undergoing significant reforms aimed at strengthening consumer protection, enhancing market stability, and promoting sustainable growth. A major milestone in this journey was the enactment of the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025 by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. The Act provides a modern legal framework for the insurance industry and significantly gives clear legal recognition to Takafu business in Nigeria, creating greater certainty for operators, investors, and participants. NIRA 2025 also supports innovation, strengthens claim settlement obligation, and reinforces consumer protection, reflecting the Commission's commitment to ensuring that insurance delivers on its promise when policyholders and participants need it most. In addition, the recently concluded recapitalization exercise marks another important step in building a stronger and more resilient insurance sector. The objective is not merely to increase capital, but to create institutions with the capacity to invest in technology, underwrite larger risk, improve service delivery, and support Nigeria's economic development. For the Takafu segment, this reform presents a significant opportunity to expand its reach, deepen financial inclusion, attract investment, and create greater value for participants. The Commission remains committed to working closely with all stakeholders to ensure that these reforms translate to tangible benefits for consumers across the country. Allow me at this moment to address a matter that is critical to the future of the sector. I wish to respectfully challenge the board of Noor Takafu, and indeed the management and the wider Takafu community, to look beyond existing levels of capital and begin to focus on mobilizing additional capital from the Nigerian economy into the Takafu segment. The opportunities before this sector are significant. However, these opportunities can only be fully realized when operators possess the financial capacity to invest in innovation, expand distribution channels, strengthen technology infrastructure, and improve service delivery and underwrite larger, more complex risks. Additional investment capital will enable Takafu operators to scale their impact, deepen market penetration, leverage technology more effectively, and provide protection to millions of Nigerians who are currently uninsured. The future of Takafu will depend not only on sound regulation, but also on bold leadership, strategic investment, and a commitment to long-term development. At this junction, permit me, Mr. Chair, to reiterate that the National Insurance Commission remains committed to providing an enabling regulatory environment that promotes innovation, stability, inclusion, and sustainable growth. We will continue to work with operators and stakeholders to support responsible market development while maintaining high standards of governance, accountability, professionalism, prudent fund management, and regulatory compliance. We also recognize that awareness creation remains a major priority. Despite its enormous potential, many Nigerians still have limited knowledge of Takafu and its benefits. The Commission therefore assures the Takafu segment of our willingness to continue working with them collaboratively with operators and stakeholders to deepen public awareness and expand understanding of Takafu in Nigeria. Together, we must tell the Takafu story more effectively and demonstrate how ethical risk protection can contribute to financial security, business continuity, and national development. Distinguished guests, today's celebration ultimately is a celebration of trust, shared prosperity, and ethical finance and financial protection. It demonstrates what can be achieved when sound governance, responsible risk sharing, professional management, and participant-focused service come together to create value. I congratulate the board, management, staff, and participants of Noor Takafu Insurance Limited for the achievements being celebrated today, particularly the successful surplus distribution and commitment to prompt claim settlement. As you celebrate this milestone, I encourage you to see it not as a destination, but a foundation for even greater accomplishment ahead. Let us work together to strengthen public confidence, expand financial inclusion, preserve the integrity and distinctiveness of Takafu, as well as attract new investment into the sector. The Commission stands ready to partner with the industry in achieving these laudable objectives, not just for the industry, but for Nigerians. Together, we can build a stronger, more inclusive, more resilient, and more trusted Takafu sector that contributes meaningfully to the development of our national economy. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, and God bless. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner Jankara. Sharing words from the National Insurance Commission on behalf of the Commissioner Olusegun Ayo Omosheyin. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please. In today's world, there's something that people understand and still don't understand. You understand sharing money, but you also don't understand sharing money. It depends. If you're the one who's receiving the money, you understand and you want this of operating this. 9 years of a commitment, 9 years of a promise kept where surplus is distributed. Noor finds it important to continue to share with people what exactly underpins the Takafu model. And so to explain a bit more, if this is your first time, you get the chance to hear this. If it's your 9th time, I guess you hear new words and a different way to explain what surplus distribution is. Please join me in welcoming the Vice Chairman of Noor, Ms. Amino Tukur, who will be sharing with us a deeper understanding of surplus distribution. Please put your hands together as he makes his way. Important to say that because Noor Health is also sharing surplus today, it does cover both. I had a conversation with the VC earlier, and I was introducing him as VC of Noor Takafu. He interrupted me to happily tell me that he is director at Noor Health as well. And so he's speaking on behalf of both organizations, I believe. Mr. Tukur, if we can have you up on stage, please. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Commissioner for Insurance, who is We're very well represented here by the Deputy Commissioner Technical for the National Insurance Commission. My directors at Noor Health and Noor Takafu, the humans of Noor, ladies and gentlemen, but more importantly, why we're here, the participants of Noor. The participants of Noor are clients. They are individuals, they're corporates who have come together to put their trust in the Noor Group through Noor Takafu and through Noor Health. And they've said that let's support one another. And that is the success, that is the story, that is the principle of the Takafu model. The Takafu model has now been extended to the HMO space, hence why Nabila has said I'm representing both organizations to briefly explain how the concept of surplus works. First of all, I have to apologize. We've had one or two technical issues, hence why we delayed the commencement of this event. That technical issue has also cascaded into my presentation because we're meant to have had a video to have supported my short talk. But this is a story we've been saying for 9 years. So with or without a video, I will briefly explain how the surplus works. And as one of my bosses always told me, explain or give the story how your grandmother in the village would understand it. So I try and make it as simple as possible. But the first thing is, and I try and say this on an annual basis, it's 2026. Why are we only distributing surplus for 2024? And it's a very simple thing. Every policy, every plan taken in 2024, we have to wait for that plan to expire. That plan, the last plan of 2024 was taken on December 31st, 2024. And it's a one-year plan. So that plan is only going to end on December 31st, 2025. So we can only start the process of 2024 on 1st of January 2026. Hence why we're celebrating it in 2026. And then other things that go in, including also very important, the stamp and approval of our regulator, the National Insurance Commission, who gave us that approval a few weeks ago. So basically, Takafu is about mutual cooperation, and it comes from a word, kafara, which is everybody supporting one another. And it's something we've always done on a family level, on friends level, on school level, and association level, contributing to a fund. This fund does not belong to the Takafu operator. This fund belongs to everybody who has contributed into this pool. We, the Takafu operator, we, the HMO operator, are only managing that asset on behalf of the participants who have contributed into the fund. And we continue to separate that from our books. Hence why we say you can either benefit from a claim or you can benefit from a surplus. So at the end of the year, we would have taken all the claims that would have distributed. So if you have had a car accident, I talked earlier on, the coconut falls on your car, you don't have to be a necessarily bad driver. The coconut can easily fall on your car and then you can make a claim. There can be a death claim. There can be several types of claims, which we should have settled. At the end of the year, we will have a balance on the fund, or it is expected that we will have a balance on the fund. When we have a balance on the fund, we go through accounting, actuarial, sharia approvals, final regulatory approvals, then we would distribute that balance to those individuals, those corporates who have not made a claim on their fund. And it changes on an annual basis. So it's the residue of it. And we keep on saying, yes, surplus is a fantastic thing. It's actually not the most important thing. The most important thing is actually the claims, which is why we continuously celebrate the claims. Because really and truly, the claim is very, very important for anybody who makes it. At that point in time, on that particular issue, they need help, they need assistance. Their business may need it, their family may need it, their classmates may need it, depending on what policy they do. So, alhamdulillah, since we started operations in 2017, we commenced surplus distribution in 2019. It was April 2019, and consistently we have distributed surplus up to the tune now. I think after today we would have done 1.3 million. And that is thanks to the support of every participant. I remember the first year we only had 12 million to distribute, and we thought that was a very little amount. But the board of directors felt there was a need to confirm, to validate to the world that the careful model works. Because a lot of people, when we started this journey, did not believe that an insurance company in Nigeria will return cash to you. And we have done that. I think at that point in time, we probably had about 63, 67 participants. I can't remember the exact number. And today, I think we have about 4,000 participants who will be distributing 420 million naira from today. I think recently we had an engagement with the National Insurance Commission, to revalidate our relationship, and we continuously to get support from them. But more importantly, we got a challenge from them. They want us to spread the story of Takaful. Of course, not just Noor Takaful, the other Takaful operators. But of course, Noor Takaful, being the leader in the space, has taken that mandate to lead from the front, to work with the other Takaful operators, to continuously tell the story and the success of Takaful across the country. Now more than ever, financial inclusion is needed. So this is our journey, and we believe both Noor Takaful and Noor Health will continue to do that. On the Noor Health, slightly different. We know it's almost impossible for an individual or for organization to take a HMO plan and not utilize anything. The moment you make and go to the clinic and take paracetamol, even if it's 1,000 naira, you have made a claim. And we felt that it would be unfair to exclude anybody from that on that basis. So what we decided as an organization to do is to have a minimum level of utilization. And we said, okay, any enrollee who has not exceeded 40% of their plan will be entitled to a surplus. So that is what we've been able to do. And this is part of our transparency, equity, and fairness. And believe me, when we don't take the phrase equity and fairness lightly. It's a conversation that continuously happens in our offices, in our boardroom, in our management meeting, and especially within the claims department. Every decision that we make, somebody in the room will ask, is that fair? Is that equitable?
And on a few occasions, we may have to have reviewed our decision. And though small, we felt also there's a need for Noor Health to also start and get into the culture of distributing surplus. And some people have asked the question, are you in the business of distributing surplus? Do you want to delay claims? Do you want to decline claims? Do you want to repudiate claims? And I said to them, no. First of all, our role is to ensure proper management of the funds, which includes investments. Secondly, to ensure that every genuine claim is paid. And we have this approach. Every claim on the health side, on the Takaful side, is genuine unless there's a reason to decline it. So we want to play that claim. We're thinking to play that claim. We're finding reasons to make that claim payment, because that is the primary objective of the Takaful model, to help anybody in terms of needs. So I hope I have covered up for the technical issues to do with, and there's a better understanding in this room and for those who have joined us virtually on how the Takaful model in terms of claims, in terms of surplus works. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again, and we'll shortly be distributing some ceremonial checks to individuals and participants here today who have earned the addition. We also have a few people who want to share their stories on their claims experience at Noor Takaful and at Noor Health. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please. The VC spoke about equity and fairness. And I think if you ask yourself those two questions at every point that the company is taking a decision, what's very interesting about the questions is that you apply them to your personal life as well, and you know that it's useful. The decision you're about to take, is it fair? The decision you're about to take, is it equitable? These are two different things. They go hand in hand, very important to say, but they are two different things. Fairness says that you're being just. It's where the concept or the principle, the operation of justice comes from. It doesn't mean that when the judgment is handed down that you will like it. It simply says it is fair. And it is fair not to you individually, but to the system. Equity says that the system provides what is needed to make sure that if you have 5 fingers on your right hand but 4 on your left, you can still operate and participate in that system with somebody who has 5 fingers on the left and 5 on the right. So very important that these are the questions that are kept before us all the time. And when he talked about the very first surplus that was distributed, he said 12 million naira. And apparently, thank you to the board of directors who said it was important to keep the commitment. For context, in 2017, and I'll use the exchange rate carefully. Very important because it just gives you a sense of stability. It's not about whether naira to dollar is going to buy you a bag of rice. But in 2017, the naira to the dollar in the parallel market was 360 naira. Inflation was somewhere above 15%, and the minimum wage was about 18,000 naira. It gives you context for what 12 million naira was, and to be able to share that after participants actually made claims and were able to receive. Very important. So the first promise is you will receive your claim when you request it under the just circumstances of the contract. But the second promise kept is that surplus will be distributed. And on that note, I would like to welcome up the Managing Director of Noor Takaful. He essentially ushers us more formally into this year's surplus distribution. Please put your hands together for Mr. Rilwan Sumonu.
Distinguished guests, gentlemen, I would want to appreciate you for gracing our occasion today. Today marks another very important day in the history of our organization. The vice chairman spoke about the issue of equity and fairness as far as Takaful is concerned. And I think this is one of the things we are going to experience here today. At Noor Takaful, I think as far as this event is concerned, we are getting to one of the most important parts of today's event, which is the distribution of checks. At Noor Takaful, this goes beyond just sharing checks or monies to our valued participants. For us, it is a promise kept. It is an opportunity for us to highlight the uniqueness of the Takaful model. So without much ado, I'll be calling on some of our valued participants who are going to receive surplus checks today. Okay. So we shall be starting with Jais Bank. Jais Bank happens to be one of the first organizations that actually believed in us when we started our operation, irrespective of the fact that we operate within the same non-interest sector. They've been a bank that has been with us from day one, and it's a relationship and partnership that we value. So Jais Bank will be coming on stage to receive the first surplus check for today. Okay, so to do honor to this, I'll be calling on the Vice Chairman, Mr. Aminu Tuko, and the Deputy Commissioner, Dr. Usman Jankara, to assist us with this presentation. Thank you. So Jais Bank is receiving the sum of 29.1 million naira as surplus. Jais Bank, thank you very much for your support and partnership.
If we can ask the VC and the Deputy Commissioner to please remain on stage as we welcome Integrated Indigo. Integrated Indigo.
Okay, next is Integrated Indigo. Mr. Polaji. Thank you. Congratulations, Indigo. Thank you so much. Okay, so next is Lotus Bank. Lotus Bank is another bank that's been with us from the beginning of our operations, and we also want to appreciate you. If you look at the figure, that's about 27.6 million naira surplus for Lotus Bank.
If we can ask Ambassador Shoaibu and Mr. Yusuf Kazari to please join the MD.
So we want the chairman of Noor Takaful, Ambassador Ahmad Shoaibu, and Director Yusuf Kazari to join us in the presentation of this check to Lotus Bank. Thank you very much, Lotus Bank. Congratulations.
If we can ask the directors to please remain.
Oh,
Pay
sorry,
Vantage
sir. Sorry,
is
sir.
next. Pay Vantage Limited.
So sorry. So next is Pay Vantage Limited. Congratulations once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kazari. I would like to ask Mr. Mutar Bakari to join us. Ambassador, if you could please remain behind, sir. And the VC, Mr. Aminu Tokur. Our next participant is Sterling Bank.
So next is Sterling Bank. That's about 21.3 million naira. Okay. So the chairman of Alternative Bank is actually collecting the check on behalf of Alternative Bank, Sterling Bank. Sorry. Yeah, Sterling Bank. Congratulations, sir. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you, sir.
If we can get the vice chairman, please, Mr. Tokur.
Okay, sorry. And for information, he's also the chairman of No Health. That is Malam Mukhtar Bakari.
Next, we have Yejide Femi Sumonu. Mr. Tokur?
Okay. This is for one of our individual participants, Mrs. Yejide Femi Sumonu. Congratulations, madam, and thank you for always supporting us. Okay, this is going to be presented by the Vice Chairman, Mr. Aminu Tubo. Thank you very much, Adia.
If I can ask Mrs. Abimbola Tiamiu to please join us on stage for the next
Ms.
presentation.
Abimbola Tiamiyu. So this check goes to ARM Group, the sum of 5.1 million naira. So we call up the representative of ARM. Okay, I think they are around. Congratulations, ARM Group. Congratulations. You're welcome. Thank you. Congratulations once again. Thank you so much. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
If we can have Mr. Mutar Bakari back up.
Next is Alternative Bank. The sum of 32.5 million. Alternative Bank.
Can we have Mrs. Hilda Ozo joining
so-
us for this?
Receiving the check on behalf of Alternative Bank is the chairman of Alternative Bank. Yeah, Malam Mukhtar Bakare. And also, I heard there's an ED of Alternative Bank also here present. I would appreciate Mrs. Korede Demola Adeni. Mrs. Korede Demola Adeni. Okay, so join us on stage, please. Congratulations, madam. Thank you.
Can I ask Mrs. Bimbola Tiamiu to please join on stage for the next presentation, as well as the head of the College of Insurance and Financial Management, Mrs. Chizoba Ehogu.
So the next check is for Mari Investment Limited. Mari Investment Limited. To present the check, we are welcoming on stage Mrs. Bimbola Tiamiyu and Director CF. Thank you. Congratulations, sir.
If I can ask, okay.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Can Mrs. Ehiogo and Mrs. Savage please stay behind for the next one?
Mrs. Tiamiyu.
Mrs. Tiamiu, my apologies. Mrs. Tiamiu and Mrs. Ehiogo.
Doctor, okay. So the next is
Dr. Chizoba.
Tax Aid Logistics. Tax Aid Logistics. Okay. Congratulations once again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hyogo,
Thank you,
and
Doctor.
thank you, Ms. Tiamiyu.
Thank you.
Can we have Mr. Taufik Sholabi and Mr. Hakim Odunton, or Dedunton?
Can we have the GM Operations Noor Takafu, Taufik Sholabi, and the CIA Hakim Odedunton to do the presentation of this check to Refin Homes Limited. Refin Homes Limited. Congratulations, madam. Congratulations. Congratulations, madam. Thank you.
Can we have Mr. Ni Yusuf and Mr. Yusuf Kazauri, please?
Okay. So, Directors Ni Yusuf and Director Yusuf Kazawi,
ProRisk is
they are
coming
the ones to
to
do the
receive.
next presentation.
ProRisk is coming to receive
Yes,
this.
and also ProRisk Insurance Brokers. Insurance, please join us on stage. So to Wema Bank, we are presenting the sum of 5.1 million as surplus. Do we have a representative of ProRisk? Okay, ProRisk Insurance Brokers, please come on stage. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
If Mr. Yusuf and Mr. Kazari can please remain for the next presentation.
So we have Smarter Securities. Next to come on stage, Smarter Securities. Smarter Securities. So, madam, you are welcome on stage. Congratulations, madam. You're welcome. Congratulations, madam. Thank you very much.
The
Thank you.
directors can please remain for one more.
Next is APT Securities and Funds Limited. APC Securities and Funds Limited. Congratulations, sir. You're coming, sir. Come here. So congratulations once again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Kazare. If Mr. Yusuf can please remain on stage. If I can ask the head of department at Ahmadu Bello University, that's the Department of Insurance, Professor Halima Sambo, to join us on stage, please, for the next presentation.
You're welcome, madam. So next is Golden Securities. Representative of Golden Securities, please. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir.
Please remain for the next presentation.
Next is Forerunner Welfare Foundation. Forerunner Welfare Foundation. Congratulations, Ayat Trust Microfinance Bank.
Thank you, Professor Sambo. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf. And thank you to the Managing Director, Mr.
Thank you,
Sumonu.
Nabila.
If you paid close attention, what you'd have seen is that whether what you're receiving is 22,000 plus or you're receiving 2 million plus, it is still a win-win, and that is to a promise kept. At this point, I'd like to invite to the stage a couple of people. As you remember earlier, the VC had said that we would hear directly from people who would share their experience of working with Noor Takaful, but also their experience of surplus distribution. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Kamaldeen Ayinla of Camrate Brokers. Mr. Kamaldeen Ayinla, please put your hands together as he comes up to the stage. Can we welcome Mr. Ayinla to the stage, please? He'll be speaking over the next couple of minutes, sharing his experience.
No. Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Anyela Oriyomi Kamaldeen. I'm the Managing Director of Camrate Nigeria Limited, and as well as the Deputy Chairman for Nigeria Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO in Lagos State. My experience with Noor, it was as a result of a deep frustration I got from my former insurance company. You know, sometimes you learn from a frustration as well. This particular guy, when we were dealing with him, you call him like 10 to 15 times, sometimes we don't pick your call. And you know, when someone is rendering service to you and you are paying for that service, but you are not getting the value for that money, you get frustrated. That's how I got to know about Noor Takaful. And by the time we started doing business with them, I discovered that there's difference between the former service provider and this one. Because anytime you request any information from Noor Takafu, they will respond almost immediately. And this is a very wonderful experience. So I need to commend them because what they are doing a very wonderful job. The first claim, it happened that because we did in the transportation business, and you know accident is not something you pray for, but sometimes it happens. When the incident happened, and we sent a notification to them through our email address, and we got the response immediately, they sent their loss adjuster. I was so, it was an amazing experience because that's not what we got from the previous insurance company that we don't want to mention their name here. So this gives us the hope that when we do more with Noor Takafu, you will definitely get the value for your money. Thank you very much.
If we can have Mr. Shehu Adeniyi up of Adosa Brokers, he will also be sharing a testimony this afternoon. Mr. Shehu Babani of Adosa Brokers.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be standing on existing protocol. Oluwaseun Babani is my name. I work with Adosa Insurance Brokers Limited as the chief servant. Noor Takafu, for me, they have come to disrupt the insurance ecosystem in Nigeria. Apart from claims settlement, prompt claim settlement, everything about this company stands unique. Professionalism, understanding, flexibility, service delivery, excellent service delivery. Give it to Noor Takafu. As a broker, urgent job by 5. While others will say we've closed, we do it tomorrow. Send it to Noor Takafu. Before you reach home, before the close of business, you will have your certificate or you have your policy documents. I give it to them when it comes to service delivery. Even their staffs, the courtesy, the response, the respect is all over. And the service delivery is top notch. Now let me talk about claim. We are all aware of the claim that happened in December 24th, the GNI claim at the Lagos Island, because Adosa Insurance Brokers is a subsidiary of Adosa Microfinance or Adosa Group. So we have microfinance bank and finance house and asset management. So we have a lot of customers that were affected as a result of that fire incident at the GNI house. But I'm happy to announce to this gathering that among all the insurance companies, Noor Takafu was forced to pay all their claims. And they did it seamlessly. You don't need to run after the MD or call the chairman. They have a conveyor belt that is working perfectly. That you don't need to call anybody. Once your claims are genuine, once the documentations are complete, be rest assured that your account will be credited. My charge to them today, please, you are up there. You need to keep on innovating and you must keep on creating new ideas to sustain your good work. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Babani. And you've heard directly from people who work with Noor Takaful. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Noor Takaful. That in some ways brings us to a pause on that. We are turning to Noor Health at this moment. I happen to have the pleasure of having reached out using my health insurance, which is Noor Health. At my company Radio Now, a number of us were a staff strength of almost 30, and we all use Noor Health. It's the first time in my professional life that a health insurance company has called me and said to me that it's time for your annual health check. And I remember going to the facility, and the doctor sat us down and first congratulated us on this very key milestone in the year. And I had to pause and tell him that the congratulations don't belong to us. The congratulations actually belongs to Noor Health. Because without Noor Health, I wouldn't have remembered to go do my annual health check. And in less than 5 days, I had my results. The entire team had their results. More than that, 2 weeks later, Noor Health actually called and asked, has every member actually gone for this health check? What was important about that call is they had actually given the provision for 2 weeks for the staff to actually go to this facility and get the checks done. The 2 weeks had passed. I wasn't expecting them to call after those 2 weeks to ask, has it been done? And they were asking simply because they wanted to be able to close up on the activities there. And if there was a chance that none of my team members had gone for that health check, they were going to make room. So important to share that testimony because I'm calling up to the stage someone who, by my estimation, I don't know that anybody is happier than he at this point. He wears many hats. This surplus distribution, as you heard, takes us back to the financial year of 2024. And at that time, he was chairman of Noor Takaful. Currently, actually, you've seen him up on stage as chairman of the Alternative Bank. So as a recipient, as a steward of one organization and now the steward of the other, please put your hands together for the chairman of Noor Health, Mr. Mutar Bakare. He comes up to usher us into what is the first time that a health insurance organization is sharing surplus. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, we are making history here.
Distinguished guests, our partners and providers, colleagues from Noor Takaful and Noor Health, and above all, our participants, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Today is a day of gratitude. So let me begin by thanking you for trusting a new idea. When you enrolled with Noor Health, you did more than buy a health plan. You joined the pool. You agreed to help carry the risk of people you may never meet and to let them carry yours. Today, we honor the promise at the heart of that choice. The significance of this day is simple. A share of the surplus is being returned to the participants who created the pool. To the best of our knowledge, this has not happened before in Nigerian healthcare. This is historic. In the conventional arrangement, whether you claim heavily or lightly or not at all, any underwriting surplus ordinarily remains within the system. Noor Health was designed differently. Your contributions enter a collective risk fund for the benefit of participants. We manage it as operator for a disclosed fee but the meaning matters more. This is not a gift. It is a fund built on mutual protection and managed according to agreed rules. But plainly, it is a promise kept. It says that transparency can become routine, that trust can be honored, where can be ethical and financially sound at the same time. A precedent is only as good as its. So let me make a commitment on behalf of the board. Every year, whether the outcome pleases us or not, Noor Health will account to participants for the risk fund's performance and surplus computation. You will know and what was retained, attributable surplus. Eligible participants will share in it. When there is none, they will know why. Transparency should not appear only when there is good news. This is the discipline of this model, and we intend to uphold it. Now to gratitude beyond our participants. To the National Health Insurance Authority, we thank you for the oversight and guidance within which we operate and earn the confidence of Nigeria. It places a greater obligation on financial discipline and protection of the participants. And to the National Insurance Commission, under whose watch Takaful itself took root in Nigeria. Thank you. To our colleague, Takaful, you proved that ethical insurance could work in this market. Today stands on that foundation. To our partner hospitals and health bills, but you do the healing. We thank you. And thank you for the daily work that turned a philosophy to participants. Ladies and gentlemen, the
the representatives of ETAP Digital, a round of applause. Erie International Oil and Gas. In many ways, a surprise development. Okay, media has a
The surplus sharing comes in. Surplus is what no claim during the year may share in it. 12 million naira, 15 million naira, 6 million naira, 200 million naira, 400 million naira. Year after year, the numbers tell a story. Since 2017, Noor has shared over 1 billion naira with eligible participants. This is more than a figure. It is years of trust, years of protection, years of a promise coming full circle. And now, a new chapter. For the first time, Noor Health, the first national ethical health insurance organization, is joining this journey of shared value as it prepares to share surplus to eligible enrollees. A milestone for Noor Health and another step forward in our commitment to an ethical model where protection, fairness, and shared once again, sharing the surplus with eligible participants, we celebrate more than another successful year. We celebrate a promise that has stood the test of time, because every surplus shared is evidence that Takaful works exactly as it was designed to. This is the Noor story, the Noor way.
And this is your daily reminder that health is wealth, ladies and gentlemen. And so if you do participate in Noor Takaful, you are encouraged to participate in Noor Health. Because probably we need to have business, and we probably don't want that, do we? Ladies and gentlemen, that does bring us to the end of this Noor Health, but a bit of a surprise. We came here for a surplus distribution ceremony. And I will go into, actually, I might not have to go into the details of the book. The lead author on this book, titled A Primer on Takaful, Understanding the Foundation practices and benefits of Takaful. Lead author is a director at Noor Takaful, Dr. Warren Zamri. Dr. Zamri is unable to be here in person, but he's put together a video where he shares a few words on why it is he wrote this book and what the book offers you for those of you, well, for every one of us who will be purchasing a copy. I believe that that video is ready.
السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا امين رب العالمين السلام عليكم. The Honorable Commissioner for Insurance, distinguished regulators, respected scholars, members of the board of Noor Takaful and Noor Health, management, industry leaders, ladies and gentlemen, it is with profound gratitude to Allah, the Almighty, that I speak to you today. Whilst I would have loved to be physically in Lagos, which was briefly my home, unfortunately, I am now in my home country in Malaysia. I am grateful to my fellow contributors, the team at Noor Takaful, and everyone who participated in the review process, and all those who have dedicated their lives to advancing the Takaful industry. Today is much more than the launch of a book. It is a celebration of knowledge. It is a celebration of an idea whose time has truly arrived. And it is a celebration of an industry that continues to demonstrate that finance can be ethical, compassionate, and commercially successful at the same time. When people ask me, it's simple. I wrote it because I where I traveled. Use it to improve professional competence. A regulator can use it as a reference. A lecturer can teach from it. A board member can better understand the business. And an interested reader can discover. I hope how institutions like four principles can work successfully in the Nigerian market. The industry's future will not be determined only by the amount of contributions collected. Future will be integrity, professionalism, its commitment to serving society, and its willingness of sincerity and science and Aduloju, Mrs. Abimbola Tiani, and also Dr. Waishu Rabi of the Advisory Council.